you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, Chase, it is no secret that you are the star of the mega popular Netflix hit Outer Banks. How
Thank
has life changed for you since landing the role of John B?
Yeah, no, it's been a blessing to kind of watch people take the show and take it into their arms and bring it into their homes and families has been such a rewarding experience, and to kind of meet these people who have come on this journey with us has been uh, it's been incredible, and it's been, beyond just the element of the show being life changing, just to know that we're touching lives and people have embraced us has been so beautiful and so rewarding.
Totally. I mean, your fan base is just so loyal. They're there to watch, every step of the way. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to see people embrace it, and we've got some of the craziest, most, incredible fans I think on this planet. So, for those of you watching, thank you.
You guys just got a kiss at home. I mean, that's some big stuff right there. They're definitely getting very excited behind their phone screens, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Well, you initially actually turned down this role, but then something sparked you to change your mind. So take us back to both of those decisions.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, as an actor, sometimes you get these breakdowns for projects, and they're so secretive and so lucrative in the ways that they're presented to you. And this one just felt like, in the time space that we were in when I was auditioning, there were so many reboots and there were so many things being redone, and I was always so hesitant about trying to jump into the space of something that had already been done and potentially butchering it. Especially as a young actor, I think there's so many different options of where you can kind of look at something and say, "Oh, it's been done. Can I do it better?" Or is it going to be perceived as not as good as what had already been done? So when I got it, John B just felt like a pseudonym, and it said for on a treasure hunt. So I was like, this is just a Goonies reboot, and I don't want to do that. Like I'm such a big fan of the Goonies to begin with, so for me it didn't feel like the right fit. And then a casting director from the East Coast, who had actually given me my first job ever, she had reached out to my representation and reached out to me and was like, "You got to do it. It's not the Goonies. I'll send you the first script." And so I read it, and I was immediately like, "Uh-oh, I've made a mistake over the last 2 months by putting this off." And so I did it, and one of the major influences on it was Jonas, and Jonas is one of the creators of the show. And when I got to Charleston for some of the reads, he just kind of immediately embraced me and saw me for who I was as a person, and saw that I had something in me, that I was, capable of doing the job, and just sort of showed me the world. I mean, we have our office down here, and it's got
Right.
crazy pictures of what they imagine the show to be all over the walls, everywhere you go. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And if this, what I'm seeing as a visual representation here in the office, if we can bring that to life, then I think we have something special. So after kind of talking with him, and now being as close as him and I are, it was a no-brainer at that point. And just bringing this to life has been the most, uh, for lack of better terms, I mean, I feel like I'm not even being truthful in this. It has been the best experience of my life, and I've had castmates that have turned into friends, and then friends into family, and it's just, I mean, it's what dreams are kind of made of. As cheesy as that sounds, it's been um, life changing. Feels like an understatement.
I mean, that's an amazing story to hear. And clearly you made the right decision the second time around. And sometimes it takes a second,
It
you
does,
know?
yeah. I mean, I originally read, I passed on John B, and then I read for Topper, and that was just a joke of an audition. So thankfully they, saw something in my ridiculous audition to let me come back and read for John B. So thanks guys for, letting me screw up. And I think that's a testament to the show. I mean, we have times where we'll put something down on camera and we're like, yeah, that didn't feel right. And we'll just keep redoing it till we find something that feels right. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of the magic of Outer Banks.
And also just a great lesson for the younger generation to hear that sometimes in life it takes a couple of tries to, find the right synergy, to find what
Yeah,
works for you. And it's not always on the first go around.
it never is. I mean, I think anybody who seems to be perceived as somebody who's gotten it on the first try is going to tell you behind the scenes that this wasn't an overnight success, or, you know,
Totally.
whatever it is that you're, chasing in life, that whether it's the first interview that you get that you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to help my career, or as an actor, you get a part and you're like, oh, this is gonna, push me into the next level. It's thousands and thousands of failures that have led to this moment. So if you're young, if you're an actor or whatever you're aspiring to be, it's, don't take failures as a loss, take it as a learning experience, and keep moving forward in that direction.
Definitely wise words. I mean, fans are going crazy because the season finale of season 1 was left on a large cliffhanger. We already know season 2 is going to have something to do with the Bahamas. We've seen that. What else can you share with us as you're currently in the process of filming?
Oh man, the $1 million question.
It is.
Unfortunately, where we're at, and it's a blessing in disguise. Netflix has been really great about being super tight-lipped about this season. Just I think because the story is so much more heightened, and I think the adventure just continues to move forward in this crazy capacity. So as much as I would love to sit here and spoil the entire season, I can't and I won't, because I'm super excited to actually do exactly what we did last year, where it was just a complete mystery, and I love all of the fan theories, and I've dabbled in them. I've seen what people are thinking, and it's exciting to see people kind of come up with these ideas. But once we get a release date, that'll be when people will find out the future and the fate of the Pogues and the entire world of Outer Banks.
And people are ready for that release date. I'm seeing in the comments that is the #1 question we have here. But since you can't tell us too much about obviously what's going on in the upcoming season, what's something that we would be surprised to know as fans that goes on behind the scenes to make this show come to life in the incredible way that you said you've watched make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think this season in particular, it's been how we've, sort of fought through the adversity with, this entire pandemic. We've had an incredible team of epidemiologists over at Netflix that have given us sort of the lay of the land. Our UPM, Carol, has just taken everything on her shoulders and created just a safe and functional environment to work in, which has been really, really difficult, with everything going on. So it's been COVID tests every day, wearing the masks, wearing face shields, and still somehow making it feel like home, which has just been awesome. I think everybody, was a little bit hesitant at first, like, how is this going to work? How are we going to make this, what we did last year? How are we going to redo that and recreate? Right. It's just a testament to our team. I mean, you guys see us in front of the camera, but realistically, there's, a village behind us that, we are equally obsessed with and have equally become our family, that makes this show happen. So I've, been through the stresses and the pressures of putting it on, but there's nothing more stressful than seeing, our camera operators with face shields and face masks and 50-pound cameras, lugging, freezing temperatures here in Charleston. So it's really about those people keeping their hearts and their energy up and making it an environment that is suitable for us to work. So less about me, I think, in the circumstance, and less about the cast, and more so about everybody behind the cameras.
Sure. I'm sure it's not easy. Definitely. Well, like you said, some castmates have turned into friends. Others have turned into girlfriends with Madeline. So when did you realize that you had a connection beyond the small screen?
Sure. I think it was after we had wrapped, because we were all so hyper focused on the show during, the entire filming process. And it was one of those things that I think we were so scared of screwing up or not making it right, or getting this opportunity presented to us and just falling flat on our face, that the idea of relationships or anything beyond just what we were doing at work was not even in the forefront of our minds. So when it came to this whole quarantine period and really like spending time together, and as everybody knows, we had this crazy quarantine experience where the majority of us were locked in a 1-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles, which isn't the most spacious, environment that you can come.
Wild.
But we just, I think, started to realize through that experience that there was something there, and sparks started to fly. And you sort of have this major life moment, and you've shared it with the person, and you've created something super special. So I think as we were going through that, we were like, is there something here? Like, are we feeling the same way? So we just sort of allowed it to come freely and not really put anything on it after we had wrapped. So she's just an incredible person, and she's so great to be around, and it's been just an absolute joy to kind of share this experience with somebody that you really love and care about. So
it is special.
Blessed.
It is special indeed. It's been so fun for everyone to watch and just to see, how authentic it really all is. How do you manage being able to sort of turn off your role together when you're filming, and then bringing it back to real life and just embracing your relationship off screen?
Yeah, I think that's sort of a testament to kind of the question you just asked. Everything was based off of a work relationship prior to a personal relationship. So I was a fan of her work from day one, and I think she's an incredibly talented actress. So starting with that note and having respect for her as an artist first, and then having the relationship second, we were able to establish both ends of the spectrum first. And I think that
Yeah.
was that's made it as healthy as it is, and sort of allowed us to sort of move into these characters while we're working, and then separate it while we're working, and then move forward into our personal relationship when we get done. So we've kind of had this ability to kind of have this sort of ability to, when we go into our trailers and we start work, it's like, okay, all of the personal stuff is going to be set aside for right now, and what we need to do is focus on our professional life. And it's no different than anybody else who's in a relationship, in a work environment. I mean, you go to work, you do your job, you push each other to be the best at your specific position, whether you're an accountant, whether you're in marketing, whether you're a journalist, whatever it is. I mean, you have to respect the person's job space and make sure that it's a functional, professional, livable environment. And if you can't set those professional boundaries, then I don't think it's ever going to work. So
Yeah.
we have the ability to be critical in a workspace. We have the ability to be critical at home. And it's all out of a place of love and wanting each other to be better for one another, and most importantly for ourselves, because we've always believed that if you're not willing to be better for yourself, you can't be better for your partner. So
Totally.
that's kind of the secret sauce there.
Yeah, and you found that balance for sure. What's your advice to those out there who might not have someone? Valentine's Day is obviously around the corner. A lot of people are single with the pandemic and finding it hard to date.
Mm-hmm.
What's your words of wisdom to those people?
I think be patient. I think love comes when you're not looking for it, and I think if you force it too hard, then it sort of finds its way of avoiding you. And it's just like anything else. If you search too hard, or if you're too desperate for something, it tends to sort of linger in the opposite direction. So I think just being present with yourself and being the best version of yourself is the best way to kind of go about it. And then it just organically comes. The universe has a weird way of just throwing things in our lap. So
I think that's great advice. Like whenever you're sort of distracted by your own life, you're focusing on your career or school, that's when things happen that you least absolutely expected, for sure.
mhm.
Because you guys are also quarantined together as a cast, what are some of the hobbies and activities that you've picked up in order to sort of stay entertained?
Oh man. I think all of us are a little bit musically inclined. So, Maddie, myself, Maddie Bailey, JD, Drew, Austin, we all kind of have dabbled in instruments and all that stuff. So we'll sit around and listen to music. We'll play music. We always go down the deep hole of YouTube and find ridiculous videos and just laugh comically at that. Board games, card games, any way to stay safe really is kind of been our ideal circumstance, because we can't go out. We're really focused and have been really focused on making sure that everybody stays healthy, because it's bigger than us. There's so many people on this crew who have children in school or have bills to pay, who haven't been employed for this time period. So it's been really, really important to us to find safe, ways to stay in our little dormitory apartment complex that we've been living in over the past 6 months. But yeah, those are some of the kind of the key things that we've been doing.
Yeah, and that's also why the show, I think, is even more special right now, because people are feeling alone. It's hard to be at home constantly, and the show provides a big source of entertainment, and that's why people are so excited for the next season to come out. But you've been very vocal recently in how people with differing diets can play a role in finding love.
Yeah.
So singles have apparently actually ranked the importance of dietary preferences over other things that we look for when we're dating someone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I was reading through the survey pretty recently, and just hearing that people are more scared of dating somebody with a vegan-based diet than credit debt is kind of mind-boggling. I mean, I didn't understand going into this the level of stigma against dietary restrictions, and it's also crazy too, because it could be for a health reason. Like some people
Yeah.
are just specific food groups, and so it was just crazy to see that. And like 1 in 5 vegans, I think, are willing to break their diet on a first date because They don't want to be ashamed of having dietary restrictions. So it's a stigma that I think we need to change.
So do you think it can work? Can someone who has a plant-based diet date someone who's into meat? Can it
No,
work?
it's worked for me. I mean, this partnership with Sweet Earth has been great because it's really opened my eyes to, how I can transition my diet. And I kind of have, coined this term of being a flexitarian, which essentially means, I'm not scared to kind of get out of my comfort zone. I mean, I was traditionally an animal-based, protein person, but realizing the difference in how you can get your nutrition and trying these different, levels of diets has been great. So it's been exciting. I mean, they have so many great products, whether it's the Mindful Chicken, the Veggie Lovers Pizza, the Pad Thai Bowl. And I've been eating they have these burritos. It's called the Curry Tiger Burrito. And they're weirdly so satisfying. Like usually for me, I'll eat a burrito and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, I could probably eat 3 more of these. So to get all the nutrients that I need in a product like this, that's all based on a plant-based product has been really great.
That sounds so good. Sounds delicious. You are getting so much love here, as you can see in the comments. The hearts are going wild. How have you processed becoming this heartthrob for people everywhere?
It's, I think it really just comes down to, I try not to put myself in that category. I just try to do really good work. And I think for me, it's about all of these people who are here and everybody that we've connected with since the show has come out, and just embracing the love for the entire show and everybody in this cast, and looking at us and appreciating the job that we've done. I think that's really how I look at it. I mean, to be an artist and to be validated by so many people is so rewarding. I mean, we go through so many no's consistently, and this is for every artist in every major city. I mean, you get more rejection than you do satisfaction. And so, for people to take the show and bring it into their homes and be so loving and so just so sweet has been such a blessing. And it's been consistent. It's not like they were there and then they're like, man, we're going to move on to something else. It's like these people are just so diehard for the show, and it's so awesome to know that we're giving something that they actually appreciate versus something that just falls into the void and people never see. So I'm just so thankful that they enjoy the show and have taken me into their homes and love John B. I mean, he's a crazy kid and has gone through some crazy circumstances, and to kind of have that in people's lives has been awesome.
I love that. So what's the plan this Sunday for Valentine's Day? Have you developed a plan yet?
Yeah. So, I think, as you kind of stated earlier, this whole experience has changed my life, quite a bit. And, something that I've really learned to value is privacy. And so, for Maddie and I think with Valentine's Day, it's going to be a private time, and it's going to be something that is shared between her and I. And, I'm going to keep this one from the world and just let it be something that's shared between her and I. So, that's important to her. It's important to me, and that's important in a healthy relationship. So yeah, I think that's my answer to that one.
That's very sweet. I like that. Well, Chase, tomorrow night you are hosting a virtual speed dating Q&A, whole situation going on for those out there. So what can people expect? You want to tune into that?
Sure. So I'm actually only going to be there for a little bit of a Q&A and a little bit of a conversation with Miss Damona. So tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be kind of just talking about what it's like, having a partner who has dietary restrictions. How has that changed the dynamic in a relationship? Has it been difficult? Has it been exciting? What has that sort of been? Questions about, career and all of that kind of stuff. But it's just sort of checking in and sort of talking about how this whole pandemic has changed that, and kind of like what we're doing now, but a little bit more in a long form. So it's going to be exciting. Damona's incredible. She's got an awesome podcast. She's an expert in the dating field. So, we're kind of going to be picking brains in that aspect as well. So I'm excited about it. It should be fun.
I love it. It's going to be a fun combination with the two of you.
Yeah.
Pleased. Awesome. Well, Chase, thank you so much for spending a little time with us this morning over on Tomorrow by Today. It was so great to have you, and congrats on everything. We're so excited for season 2.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on here.
All right. Take care.
Good one. Guys.
Thank you guys for watching us over on Tomorrow by Today this morning. This conversation will be saved on our feed in case you missed some of it, and we'll be back here later this week with a whole new guest. Make sure to give us a follow, and we'll see you next time. I'm Sydney Sadik. Take care, everybody.